once we understand the principles through which nature or cosmic energy functions, we align ourselves with that. We have what is called synchronicity and spontaneous fulfillment of desire. Do less, accomplish more. Ultimately, do nothing, accomplish everything.
Welcome, Deepak Chopra. It's an honor to have you here at the Greator Festival at the end of our This Week festival.
I'm thrilled to be with you. I'm very honored and privileged. Thank you for having me.
Deepak, I just read an article about you on the New York Times. And it was about conflicts and how to deal with conflict situation between people. And I mean, in these times, we have a lot of conflicts, not only the US, all over the world. We have war, we have political conflicts, we have votes, we have many other conflicts, not only worldwide, also in our families, with our friends. How do you deal with conflicts, and what can you recommend others how to deal with it?
So over the last 25 years, I have engaged in conflict resolution through a process that I call conscious communication. And I have seen it work at all times. There's no conflict that cannot be resolved if the parties agree to certain rules. So these are the rules I have for conflict resolution. Number one, treat your adversary with respect. If you don't treat them with respect, you don't even get to first base. Number two, recognize that in any conflict, there's the perception of injustice on both sides. So recognize you feel that you are being treated in a way that's not just, and I feel the same way. We both have to, otherwise there's no resolution. Number three, be prepared to forgive and ask for forgiveness. You forgive not because you think the other person deserves forgiveness. You forgive because you deserve peace. And without peace, there's no creativity. Number four, abstain from belligerence. Like when you say either you're with us or you're not with us. Number five, understand emotional and social intelligence. There are very specific rules for emotional intelligence, which should be used at all times. Number six, ask people for their values and exchange your values. Number seven, don't prove the other person wrong. Number eight, disengage from ideological and religious discussions. And number nine, be vulnerable and express your fears. When both sides are vulnerable, there's chance for strength, creativity, and what we call win-win situation. You can always create a win-win situation, no matter what the conflict is.
What happens if I already have problems? I think it was with point number 2, that you are able to forgive somebody in a conflict, because I think many people stuck at that point already. How do you deal with these concerns?
So first of all, there are many things that need to be forgiven. Number one is you forgive yourself. Number two, you ask the other person for forgiveness. Number three, you say who else deserves to be forgiven. So forgiven is not between you and me. It is in the whole ecosystem as a start for creativity, because if you don't, there's no creativity. We'll keep recycling the same argument forever. It's been happening since the Stone Age. The same thing has been happening since the Stone Age, and we are recycling it. The problem is we have modern capacities now. Nuclear weapons, biological warfare, cyber warfare, internet hacking. So it doesn't work anymore.
I just had an interview last year with Neil Donald Walsh, and he told me, at the end of the day, it's important to understand that all conflicts, all problems we have on that earth are because we forgot that we are one. First of all, do you agree on that point? And if so, I really have problems with understanding that I'm one with Donald Trump.
So it's a very good point. So when we say we are one, we are talking about differentiation and not separation. So where is the oneness? Is in consciousness. We are one in what we call the source of all experience. The source of your experience is consciousness. The source of my experience is consciousness. But we have different minds. You have a different mind. I have a different mind. The mind is a conditioned response to education, to culture, to religion, to economics, to history, to the whole history of the human race. So we are different minds, different bodies, but a single consciousness. We call that pure consciousness that differentiates into everyone. So Donald Trump cannot be left out, nor can Hitler be left out, nor can anyone else be left out. If reality is infinite, it includes infinite things, divine and diabolical, what we call sinner and saint, good and evil, what we call all the things. We say creativity and evolution on one side, and entropy on the other side. Infinity means infinity. So the new formula after Einstein should be infinity is equal to 0 is equal to 1. That means there's one consciousness, innumerable minds, innumerable personalities, innumerable modes of looking and perception. But when we get to the source, only when we get to the source, can we experience oneness as the ultimate truth. Before that, it's all conditioned mind.
Wow. How can we remember that we are one? How do we get to that point to understand that, to feel that, to experience that?
You go beyond your mind. There is no mental activity that can give you the experience of oneness, because by definition, the mind is separate. Your mind is separate than my mind. So by definition, there is no oneness at the level of the mind. But when you go beyond the mind, through reflective self-inquiry, through contemplation, through mindful awareness, through awareness of mental space, through awareness of the web of relationship, through transcendence, then we go beyond the stories our mind creates. All the conflicts are about stories, whether they're religious stories, ideological stories, financial stories, any story. So we have to go beyond all stories to experience oneness. That oneness is the ultimate truth at the heart of the universe. It is also called pure love, pure creativity, pure intuition, pure knowing, pure imagination, pure insight. And ultimately, the purpose of all evolution is to know that love is not just a sentiment at the mental level or emotional level. Love is the ultimate truth at the heart of creation. That oneness, which is our source, that oneness allows you to have a thought, perception, experience, relationship. Otherwise, we're all separate. But separation is also an illusion. Just like you can say my eyes are separate from my heart, is separate from my brain, but they're part of the whole body and they function together. Every cell in your body is working in the service of every other cell in your body, because at the cellular level, your biology recognizes that your biology and the ecosystem is one phenomenon.
Wow, I want to understand better, how can I, very concrete, get to that point to experience that oneness, that love, that consciousness you're talking about. You wrote already more than 90 books. Now you wrote the 91st book, and it's about meditation again. I think you already wrote a lot of books about meditation. What is special about total meditation, how you call it?
So, if you look at the meditation traditions in the world, they include everything from what we call transcendence, mantra practice, self-inquiry, contemplation, intentional meditation, biological regulation. So total meditation includes all of them. And there are, in total meditation, also 52 mantras, which are specific for specific goals that human beings have, from everything from survival to safety, to love, to belongingness, to success, to achievement, to creativity, to insight, to imagination, to transcendence, to evolution. So total meditation includes all of that, but total meditation also shows you how you can slip from your mind to your spirit instantly.
How do I do that?
Okay, so everyone who's watching us right now, including yourself, all of you right now, as you're listening to me and watching me, just turn your attention to that which is listening. Do it right now. So instead of listening to me, be aware of the listener. Instead of seeing me, be aware of that which is seen. And suddenly, you'll be in the presence of your own being. That is spirit, that is soul, that is pure consciousness. You can switch anytime by turning your attention from the seer to the scenery. Little practice, you can move there anytime. You can live there.
So it's about going back to yourself?
Yes, it's going back to yourself beyond the secret passages and the dark alleys and the ghost-filled attics of your mind, your conditioned mind.
Wow.
It is the source of the mind. It is not the mind. It is that which is watching the mind.
So what I'm always asking myself, and I try to answer that question now for many, many years. I mean, we know that meditation is good, self-reflection, journaling. And I'm always quite curious what successful people who have a successful, fulfilled, happy life, how they integrate personal development, meditation in their lives. Can you give us some insights how you practice personal development meditation on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? How do you integrate it into your life?
I start my day in the morning by asking myself 4 questions and being open to any answer I get, any answer, because every time I ask the question, the answer can be a little different. So the first question is, who am I? What am I? And I don't try to answer the question. I wait for the answer, which comes in the form of a sensation, image, feeling, or thought. So that's the first question. Second question, I ask myself every day, what do I want at the deepest level for me, for my family, for my friends, for my community, for my society, for the world? And again, I don't try to answer the question. I wait for any sensation, image, feeling, or thought that comes to me as an insight. The third question I ask is, what is my purpose? What is my calling right now in this moment? Not tomorrow, not yesterday. What is my calling in this moment and today? What is my higher purpose? And again, any sensation, image, feeling, or thought. And the fourth question, what am I grateful for? As soon as you ask the question, what am I grateful for? You move from ego to spirit. Then I introduce certain intentions in my body, joyful, energetic body, loving, compassionate heart, clear mind, lightness of being. I do it through first going into stillness, then planting intentions in my body, in my heart, in my third eye, and ultimately in pure consciousness. And that's a process that I teach. So a little reflection, a little intention, and then transcendence. So, in the yoga tradition, this involves 3 things. Dharana, which means focused awareness, dhyan, which means meditation, and samadhi, which means transcendence. So when you have a combination of focused awareness and meditation and still mind and the presence of being, and when you introduce an intention there, it automatically organizes its own fulfillment without any help from you through what is called synchronicity. Right now, if I asked you, what are you doing to regulate your blood pressure? The answer is nothing. If I asked you, what are you doing to regulate your immune system? The answer is nothing. If I asked you, what are you doing to regulate your endocrine system or immune system or heart rate or breathing? Answer is nothing. So your body already is doing everything without your help. That is how nature functions. Do less, accomplish more. Once we understand the principles through which nature or cosmic energy functions, we align ourselves with that. We have what is called synchronicity and spontaneous fulfillment of desire. Do less, accomplish more. Ultimately, do nothing, accomplish everything.
So there was no, let's say, major meditation into it, or it seems like this is quite short amount of time you're going inside, or am I interpreting it wrong?
This is the least you should do. Now, as you get older, like me, I'm 74, right? So that's my chronological age. My biological age today is half that, because I also exercise, I also do yoga, I practice controlled breathing, I engage in meaningful relationships, but the most important thing is I live for a higher purpose. If you live for a higher purpose, then you have nothing to worry about. The whole world will be behind you and will help you.
I mean, you reached so many things in life, not only writing and selling the books, you know so many very interesting people, you have a big business success, you have a great family, you are lucky, you seem to be fulfilled. What is motivating you in the morning to stand up? What is driving you?
every morning I ask one more question. How can I today contribute to creating a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier, and joyful world? That's it. All I want in my mind is to reach 1 billion people for personal and social transformation, because I believe that without personal transformation, there is no social transformation. And without social transformation, there's no planetary transformation. So I look at planetary transformation and then ask myself, how can I be the change I want to see in that world? And surprisingly, that gives me so much energy that if you ask me on a scale of 1 to 10, how much energy you have, I'll say 1,000,000 times more than I need.
Wow. I mean, there are many people out there who want to support other people. What advice do you have to people who want to support others, to be a greater coach or a coach in general out there? What advice do you have to these people? Or what is the best state to have to support others?
Okay, so here's the key. The most important key here is to study what social scientists are calling the science of emergence. So emergence means the old paradigm dies completely. The old story is dead and a new story is born. And for emergence, social scientists tell us you need the following criteria. You need shared vision. So for me, the shared vision is a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier, joyful world, and a new definition of success. Success is the progressive realization of worthy goals, the ability to have love and compassion, and ultimately to be creative and always be in touch with your own creativity and the creativity of others. So when you have shared vision, when you have emotional bonding, when you have maximum diversity of opinion, strength, talent, education, so you have philosophers, scientists, coaches, geneticists, microbiologists, whatever, maximum diversity, shared vision, complement each other's strengths, you have a new ecosystem for enormous success. So what I would tell your coaches is each of you should create what I call a soul profile. Soul profile means answer the following question. What are my peak experiences? What is my life purpose? Who are my heroes and mentors in history, mythology, religion? What are the qualities I value in others? What are my unique skills and talents, and how do I use them? And finally, what does a good relationship mean with me? What do I give? What do I receive? Once you create your soul profile, you create an ecosystem of people who share your values, and then you complement each other's strengths. So I, in that ecosystem, could theoretically be the biologist who's talking about consciousness. You could be the one who's talking about entrepreneurship. A third person could be talking about financial success. A fourth could be talking about social emotional intelligence. Now we have an ecosystem of coaches that actually complements each other, but is also unique. And that is what creates success. Not these days, it's not about just you and just me. It's not about you, Muller, and me, Chopra. It's about all of us. So we move from me to we to us to oneness. And that takes a little social intelligence to do that. But we have enough experts now that we can actually measure the success of emergence and how emergence will lead the way in the future in everything: information technologies, energy, transportation, food, repairing the ecosystem. It's all possible. We can repair the ecosystem, we can reverse climate change, and we can create financial success for everyone in this world. Everyone. And I'm not speaking metaphorically, speaking literally. We have information networks where we can share creativity, share resources, and actually create an ecosystem. In fact, we've already done it. We have a site called neveralone.love. Check it out, www.neveralone.love, and you can engage with other people and your ideas, and they can engage with you. And we are even creating a new currency, cryptocurrency and blockchain, so we don't have to depend on banks, don't have to depend on governments. We democratize well-being, happiness, joy, and success throughout the world and take responsibility for the future evolution of humanity. So we can't depend on them. We have to create our own ecosystem.
Wow. Thank you so much, Deepak. So what kind of major change do you see for the future we need to exactly have what you're describing, the world where we have enough wealth, food, freedom out there? I'm also a very optimistic person. I totally, to be honest, believe in world freedom in the future. I don't know if in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years from now, but maybe I'm a bit naive. I believe in that, and I really believe in it in the bottom of my heart. What do we need to get that change?
There are 5 sectors we need to look at. One is information and how we can actually harness the collective information networks of the world for greater creativity. This is number one. Number two, we need to move away from fossil energy. I see the future going from oil dependency to photons, electrons, electromagnetic fields, and biomolecules as the source of all energy in the future. So number 2 is energy. Number 3 is transportation. We have the collective creativity to create airlines and ships and transportation on riding on electromagnetic waves. Number 4 is food. Food created by photons directly from the earth through the regeneration of genetic information of the microbiome of our planet. And finally, there is financial security, which can be created by better means of exchanging resources, complementing strengths, and engaging in helping each other. All the science is there. What we now need is a critical mass and a collection of people in the world like yourself and your club and your business. All these businesses have to come together and complement each other's strengths.
Wow. Yeah, let's work on that, Deepak. And I know that you really are deep into technology, also when it comes to well-being, and you already named some topics. So when it comes to well-being, and also let's talk about consciousness afterwards as well. When it comes to well-being, how can we improve our well-being in the future by technology?
Today, because of technology and artificial intelligence and algorithms, we can correlate every experience you have in consciousness with a biological response. So we can instead of taking a selfie, I can take a wellfie, like a 5-second video of your face, your micro expressions. I can listen to your voice. I can see your body language, your gestures, and then correlate that with heart rate variability, with heart rate, with blood pressure, with immune response, with self-regulation, with homeostasis, with inflammation. So it is already possible today to use a handheld device like this and look at it and know instantly what your blood pressure is, what your heart rate variability is, what your biological age is. And you can also then introduce mind-body interventions and watch biometrics, how you can regulate every aspect of your body, whether it's your cardiovascular system or your immune system or your endocrine system, all through artificial intelligence, VR, deep learning systems, and also understanding inflammatory processes in the body, but most importantly, augmented reality as feedback. So in the future, for example, if you have a burn, you can experience a VR experience that will cure the burn immediately. Or if you have an eating disorder, you can go through a VR experience. Or if you have hypertension or heart disease, you can reduce inflammation. So 5 years from now, instead of pharmaceuticals, you'll have digitaceuticals. You will have electroceuticals. You will have biofeedback. You will have VR technologies, and it will all be consolidated through technology in a way that the future of well-being is personalized, preventable, predictable, participatory, and process-oriented. And with that, we can not only improve our mental, but also our physical well-being. And that is the prelude then to social well-being, community well-being, and planetary well-being.
But Deepak, do we all need that? I mean, when we see it from, let's say, a spiritual perspective, let's say illnesses and challenges you have in life is a mirror of your soul. So from a spiritual way, isn't it more important to talk about consciousness and how we get more conscious?
It's very important to talk about consciousness and spirituality, but we live in a world where everyone wants to say, What's the proof? Can you measure it? And now we can. We can show through meditation what happens to gene expression. All the genes that are responsible for cell regulation and healing go up some 17-fold. All the genes that are responsible for inflammation, disease go down. The enzyme telomerase, which increases longevity and helps us age in a healthy way, goes up by 40%. There's no drug that can do that. But now that we can prove that, I don't need technology, but I can help create technology for the skeptics who, once they understand it, they'll say that what we call the body, the mind, and the physical world is a projection of our soul. And only, by the way, only 5% of disease-related gene mutations are fully penetrant, which I believe is karmic anyway, but that's a whole different discussion. 95% of chronic illness is under your control. Even how you age is under your control. And from my tradition where I come, you don't have to die of a disease. You choose the moment of your death in meditation, if you want.
Wow. When it comes to the future of consciousness, what are we talking about? How does the way how we work on our consciousness, how does the consciousness in the world in general change in the future?
So if you want to map out the evolution of consciousness, then, our consciousness, of course, operates through our mind and our body and through our experiences of the world. So on a daily basis, we only experience 3 states of consciousness: waking, dreaming, and sleeping. There's a 4th state of consciousness, which is called pure consciousness, which we transcend all thought. There's a 5th state of consciousness called cosmic consciousness, where you're local and non-local at the same time. There's a 6th state of consciousness called divine consciousness. And then there's a 7th state of consciousness called enlightenment or unity consciousness. In each state of consciousness, reality shifts. So what we call everyday reality right now is waking state of consciousness. Tonight, when you go to sleep, you'll have dream state and sleep state. And most people, 99% of humanity, will go through an entire lifetime not even knowing that there is cosmic consciousness, divine consciousness, unity consciousness, soul consciousness. As you open yourself to these broader, expanded states of consciousness, you realize that your brain is different in different states of consciousness, your knowledge is different in different states of consciousness, but even more importantly, your body changes in different states of consciousness. Your body becomes less material, more energetic, ultimately more information-like, and ultimately it becomes pure, transparent, what the Buddhists call rainbow body or bliss body. And it's all now measurable. That's what I'm saying. Now that we have the ability to measure, we can explore the highest states of consciousness that yogis have spoken about for thousands of years, but nobody believed them.
We divide coaching in, let's say, 2 directions. One direction is more going into the past and taking care of bringing, so to say, the past into freedom. The other part is more about our future, about creating the future, the best version of your life. How do you practice to create your future? Are you somebody who has visions and brings them in life? Like, for example, let's say Joe Dispenza does it in, let's say, meditations where you create your future consciously and really experience a future you want to create, your state, your whatever you want to be in the future? Or don't you take care of your goals, about your visions, about conscious creating of the future? How do you deal with that topic?
It all depends on your stage of life, So in my case, my first 25 years was maximum education. Second 25 years was maximum achievement. Third 25 years was maximum giving back. Now I'm entering the 4th 25 years. And in the 4th 25 years, I don't think about the future. I think about what is now. And I realize that now is not a moment in time. Now is not a moment in time. And now is timeless, eternal, infinite. And if I am grounded in that experience of eternal, infinite beingness or pure knowingness, I can manifest anything I want for myself. Now, for manifesting for the rest of the world, we need to create a template for what we call SMART goals. Stretch more than you can reach, make everything measurable, make sure that everybody agrees on your team, record your progress, set a time limit, and you'll get there, especially if you have a higher calling. So both are possible. But in my case, I'm not concerned about the future. I'm grounded in the timeless now, this second. This second. I also recognize that if you do not face what is now, then you're spiritually bypassing. Okay, you don't want to spiritually bypass. You cannot avoid what is right now. And if you don't have a solution for the quality of life now, you will never understand that the point of arrival is always going to be now. When the future arrives, it will be now. And if you're not present for the future, when it arrives, there's no point in planning for the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And it's interesting how you describe your way of life. And you're talking about these SMART goals. I made the experience personally, but also see it at many others, that if you're setting even smart goals, but if they're not coming from heart, they don't really make you happy.
Yes. So then what the SMART goals, I have an acronym. It's called LEADERS, LEADERS, leaders. So L stands for deep listening, listening with the mind, listening with the heart, listening with the soul. And from that listening, creating a vision. That's L. E stands for emotional bonding and emotional connection with others. Because if you're not emotionally connected, you're not going to be successful. A stands for expanding your awareness. D stands for daring to dream and doing it with SMART goals. E stands for personal and social empowerment. You're not beneath no one, fearless, immune to criticism. R stands for responsibility, taking responsibility for your physical, mental, and spiritual health. And S stands for synchronicity or good luck, being at the right place at the right time. And if you follow these 7 principles, nothing will stop you.
Deepak, I'm so amazed about everything you said. And I think the good thing is we just talked 35 minutes now. And I think everybody can watch that again 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And you always again see something new in what you are saying. And so there was amazing value into it. Thank you for that.
And each of these items we can expand on. We just covered basic alphabet.
Deepak, you promised us that you will do a meditation with the whole community now.
Okay, so wherever you are, everyone, including Dr. Muller, all of you, sit quietly, uncross your legs. You can watch our friend here, and he's doing the right thing, except you can open your hands. Yeah, that's good. Otherwise, you're perfect. Yeah, at ease. Okay. Now, with your eyes closed, let's start with just observing the breath. That's it. Breath is the first sensation of existence. It's also the last sensation of existence. We start this life with the breath. We leave this life also with the breath. So just observe the breath as the most primordial sensation of existence. And now, as you're doing that, mentally say to yourself, I am present in every breath I experience. I am present in every breath I experience. And now shift your awareness to any sounds that you may hear, including the sound of my own voice, maybe the sound of your own breathing or occasional cough or air conditioner or whatever, but just be aware of sound. Move your awareness away from breath to sound. Mentally, say to yourself, I am present in every sound I hear. And now just take your hands and rub them against your clothes a little bit. Just touch your clothes with your hands. Touch your hands together. Touch your hands together. Okay. Touch your face. Touch your face. And just say to yourself, I'm present in everything I touch. Okay, now gently open your eyes. Don't focus on anything, just gently half open your eyes, what we call soft eyes. Be aware of the space that you're engulfed in. Just be aware of the colors, shapes, and forms around you. And mentally say to yourself, I'm present in everything I see. I am present in everything I see. Close your eyes again. Move your tongue inside your mouth. Feel your inner cheeks, your gums, your teeth. Generate a little saliva. Taste everything in your mouth and mentally say to yourself, I am present in everything I taste. And finally, move your awareness into your nostrils and let any odors or smells come to you, fragrances. And mentally say to yourself, I am present in everything I smell. So now let's go a little deeper. Let's evoke some images in consciousness. So imagine a rainbow. Imagine a snow-clad mountain. Imagine a beautiful sunset on the ocean. Imagine a starlit sky, Milky Way galaxy. Mentally say to yourself, I am present in everything I imagine. And now let's go a little deeper. Let's go into emotions. So think of someone you love and feel the love in your body, in the heart. Now think of some unpleasant situation which is causing you stress. Once again, feel what's happening in your body just by the unpleasant situation. And mentally say, I'm present in every emotion I generate. Now let go of that and just sit there waiting for any thought to come to you, any thought about today, tomorrow, the past, the future, randomly. And mentally say to yourself, I'm present in every thought I have. Now let your awareness expand outside the boundaries of your skin. Let your awareness move outside the boundaries of your skin and pervade all of space and time. Mentally say to yourself, as awareness, I pervade all of space and time. I am present in all of space and time, across the fabric of space and time and beyond. And now, let it all go and mentally start to repeat your full name. So if I was doing it, I would say I'm Deepak Chopra. And now cut the link between I am and your name. And just repeat, I am, with no form, no name, and no experience attached to it. Just I am, like a mantra. I am, I am, I am. And now replace the I am with aham, aham. The sound of existence, the vibration of existence. Aham, aham. And now finally, let the mantra go and just settle into the presence of your own being, pure awareness, the still point of the universe, right here. This is who we are, pure consciousness. No shape, no sound, no color, no form. Infinite, timeless. As awareness, we have no age. We are a timeless being, pure creativity. This is home, which we left a long time ago. So now, return home. When we return home, we have arrived where we started from. This is the place. Pure creativity, pure energy, pure love, pure evolution, pure synchronicity. Just stay here for at least 1 minute. Let's stay in the presence of the one being. Now please relax into your body and take a few seconds and slowly open your eyes. So now that you have your eyes open, once we get to this place, which we call home, pure consciousness, then we can introduce any intention, any smart goal, anything else. And then that will be supported by pure consciousness. Otherwise, hard work, exacting plans, a lot of discipline, a lot of stress. This is the way to actually achieve almost the impossible.